Good evening. Welcome to the Zoning Subcommittee meeting of February 10th, 2020. The clerk will call the roll of the members of this committee.
Roll call of the Zoning Subcommittee. Councilor Janino. Here. Here. Councilor Guanasso.
Here.
Here. Councilor Morabito is absent. Councilor Visconti. Here. Here. And Chairman Zambudo.
Here.
Here. A quorum is present. There's one item on the agenda, and that's special permit number C-20-01, Robert Ainello, 727 Revere Beach Parkway, requesting permission from the Revere City Council to reconstruct and modify a pre-existing non-conforming structure for the purpose of constructing a 4-story building utilized for a self-storage use at 727 Revere Beach Parkway.
Good afternoon, councilors.
Good afternoon.
My name is Corey Rhodes. I'm the attorney for the applicant, Bob Ainello. As we have discussed previously at the City Council hearing, this is a special permit for a non-conforming structure use relative to increasing the height of the building proposed for 727 Revere Beach Parkway by 8 feet. The final building height as calculated by the Revere ordinances is expected to be 39.6 feet. Coming to the decision to bring this proposal, I do have to say it was not taken lightly. There were a lot of meetings between myself, the ward councilor, my client, and his other consultants, engineers, and architects. And this occurred after the discovery of groundwater issues associated with the nearby Chelsea Creek. Arriving at this height resulted from an engineering analysis that found it was infeasible to construct the previously proposed structure. Unfortunately, we were not able to have the project engineer here tonight, but he was able to provide an opinion letter, which we did pass out just now. And specifically, the principal of CCC and Environmental Services, LLC, stated that he was mobilized to the site to do 6 soil borings for the footprint of the proposed building. Drilling refusal was encountered within 10 feet of the ground surface, where very dense conditions were presented. Subsurface conditions were moist to wet, as shallow as 4.5 feet below ground surface at some of the drilling locations. His letter is to inform you that it is his opinion that it will not be feasible to install the proposed foundation that was for the prior building on the subject property. The reason is the ground surface creating a condition that is not conducive for installation of the proposed foundation system. So this was the analysis that came from environmental studies of the property in trying to build the originally proposed structure and led us back here tonight. I do want to reiterate that this is a self-storage building. That is the proposed use for this site. That is what my client has been working towards for a number of years now. Apartments are permitted at this property as a right. So are banks with ATMs, restaurants, cell phone stores. You could even put a liquor store here and have pass-throughs to Taft Street. I don't think that's anything anybody wants on this council or in the neighborhood. The use that's been proposed is very passive. There's minimal activity, low traffic, low congestion, and all the access is directed through the parkway. I think any other owner, any new owner of this property would be looking to do apartments. And if not as right, they would probably be looking at a 40B affordable housing project, something that would be substantially more profitable and would really tie the city's hands in the pursuit of low-income housing. Again, I think this proposal with its self-storage use is the least impact that can be proposed for this property. It does require a certain size, though, to do this type of use. And that is what brought us to requesting to go up an additional 8 feet. Finally, my client will be making a payment into the Community Investment Trust Fund related to this project, which will be substantial, somewhere in the ballpark of $25,000 to $50,000 based upon the final construction costs. The neighbors have raised the idea of having the money utilized for a lift at the Revere Public Library, and Mr. Ainello believes this would be a great use of those funds. We'd be happy to go over any questions you have and ask for your support on this project. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to call on the ward council who's done a lot of work on this, and I understand you had a very successful community meeting with the neighbors and come to some agreements. And I see some stuff in front of me that's going to be read into the record.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we had a community meeting last Thursday. Bob O'Brien, myself, and the residents of Taft Street, Mill Street, Vinyl Street. And we came up with, we're going to go forward with this. They agree, but there are stipulations. And I would like to read the stipulations that the neighbors are asking for. Conditions when Mr. Ianello starts his construction. That number one, no construction vehicles are left parked overnight on Taft Street or Mill Street during construction. Landscaping will be provided in the back of the storage unit, and someone asked about maybe on Mill Street too. No entrance by vehicle or pedestrian after construction is finished be allowed from Taft Street onto the property. Construction will not start work until 7 a.m. and end 4 p.m. This is, we have to review this, but the neighbors have asked for a 24-hour phone line for complaints. We have to review that. A barrier around the construction site will be provided by the developer so no debris can fall in abutting areas and properties surrounding this construction site. A newly signed contract will state that the storage unit will not be allowed to be turned into apartments henceforth. A community notice will be delivered to residents 2 weeks before construction starts so they know that this construction is going to take place. And a newly signed contract, because we're asking, this is a new special permit, and we're asking to go up 8 feet, that a newly signed contract will say that the building will not go up more than 39.6 feet. That's it. Thank you.
Any other councilors? Councilor Visconti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Construction, is that between Monday through Friday? Are they
They're all
allowed to
set.
work on Saturdays?
I think standard would be Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, okay.
You're not guaranteeing that there won't be an occasion to work on Saturdays, is that?
I wonder if they get behind schedule or something like that, and especially
Yeah,
once the
I mean,
building's
you got to be
up
reasonable about this, yeah.
and interior work.
Okay, yeah. Anyone else? Okay, I don't have any problem with any of the conditions that were added by the neighbors. The only one that's can't be probably read into the special permit is this 24-hour thing, but I think we can work that out with the project manager or the clerk of the works, whatever you have, whoever's on site 24/7. I think the neighbors will be happy as long as they have a contact that they can get a hold of right away. It's unenforceable, so it can't be part of the special permit. But other than that, if the clerk wants to read the site plan review and the special conditions that were agreed to by the neighbors and the developer and the ward council.
Thank you.
Council McKenna.
Thank you again. I just want to say that Mr. Ianello has put out that the neighbors can help with the color of the building and the decor if they want to. So I wanted to put that out too. You can. So thank you. I like the color that's on there too. Thank you.
That's very generous of the developer.
This is the site plan reviews, findings and conditions for the special permit. 1, new concrete sidewalks with granite curbing shall be constructed along the full frontage of the property on Taft Street. And 4, Chanticleer pear trees shall be planted within the sidewalk layout on Taft Street near the rear of the building. 2, there shall be no vehicular access or egress from the site onto Taft Street, and Taft Street shall not be used as a service entrance to the building. 3, there shall be no outdoor storage of materials or equipment allowed on the site. 4, the final architectural and exterior building material plans shall be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. 5, a parking lot layout plan and landscaping plan shall be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. And 6, in accordance with Chapter 17.47 of the revised Revere zoning ordinances, this project is subject to participation in the Community Improvement Trust Fund, since the entire project exceeds what is allowed as a right for construction of a storage warehouse use within the GB district. 3% of the construction costs associated with the self-storage warehouse facility shall be paid into the Community Improvement Trust Fund. Payments shall be made into the fund in 2 equal installments. The first installment shall be paid into the fund prior to the issuance of a building permit, and the second installment shall be paid prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit.
Madam Clerk, if you wouldn't mind reading the conditions that were agreed to by the neighbors.
In addition to the site plan reviews, conditions and findings, 1, no construction vehicles are left parked overnight on Taft Street during construction. 2, landscaping will be provided in the back of the storage unit. 3, no entranceway by vehicles or pedestrians after construction is finished be allowed from Taft Street onto property. 4, construction work will not start until 7 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. 5, I'm sorry. Okay. 6, number 5 is now a barrier around the construction site will be provided by the developer so no debris can fall in abutting areas and properties. 6, new special permit will not be allowed to be turned into apartments. And 8, a community notice will be delivered to residents 2 weeks before construction will start. And 8, that the height of the building shall not exceed 39.5 feet.
Point of information.
Your point.
The second one, landscaping will be provided in the back of the storage unit on Taft Street. Can we add Mill Street to that too, please? No? You don't want it? Okay. The residents don't want it. Okay. That's what you asked for. Through the chair? Okay.
Council Novoselsky.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, although I'm not on the committee, I appreciate the leeway in speaking. Just through you to the applicant, construction vehicles, are they going to be using only the parkway access to bring in their trucks and other vehicles?
Construction, rear wall, rear sidewalks.
Can you go up here? Yeah.
I think my client's point is that the construction will be directed off the parkway. There is some concern at some point constructing that rear wall, there will have to be people on both sides and on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that when they leave the site, they wash the trucks. Because, they tend to bring up dirt like it's on the wheels. And I do that with all the contractors down in my neighborhood. They have to wash their vehicles before they go in the streets. It's a must. It's just
That's
kind of have
supposed to
that
be
mess going
standard.
on. I understand
Yeah.
that, but I'd like to remind everybody that that's what we want to see and put crushed stone in there right at the edge so it could drain off and not pick up drop any dirt. Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Roll call.
On the special permit, subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review and of the zoning subcommittee. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Morbido is absent. Councilor Visconti?
Yes.
Yes. Ex officio, Councilor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Chairman Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit will be recommended to the full city council with a favorable recommendation.
There's no further business for the zoning subcommittee. Thank you all for your attendance.